friends, this is Marilyn from Tarot Clarity. Before I get started, I want to continue to thank my subscribers, my members, anyone who likes, shares, hits the hype button, buys me a coffee, or a super thanks. Thank you very much. I can't tell you how much it helps in supporting this channel to continue being the channel that you expect it to be, with sharing beautiful decks from all over the centuries. The topic of today's reading and conversation, you won't escape a conversation, is asking the right question. And I guarantee that I frequently don't ask the right question. The purpose for me in using tarot is to help us redirect our thinking. I say it all the time. It's not a predictive read. It's not necessarily entertainment. I certainly don't see it as entertainment, particularly if we're helping to assist in finding a person who's missing or understanding what happened to a person. My goal is to help us redirect our thinking so that we get different results, or we consider different things. It's like losing something and the last time you saw it was in that drawer, and you just look in that drawer 4,000 times and it's not in that drawer, right? So you keep doing the same thing over and over. Well, it's the same. And if you do a reading to help you find where you put it, it redirects your brain to force you to look in other places that may just yield the result you're looking for. The same could be said when we do political reads. What will the next 6 months look like? And I'm guilty, I've done them. What will next year look like? But that takes away the responsibility from our shoulders. We have a responsibility and we have a duty to help form and shape what this next 6 months or the next year will look like. Now, granted, participating in the No Kings protest was awesome, right? It let ourselves be visible, and we did it in a peaceful way, and we caused no harm. The only thing we did was we just caused a temper tantrum in the White House, but he would have had one anyway. So we've proven that we have a significant voice. It's like 3 in 100 people showed up in this country, and that's no small thing. It's the biggest protest against any president ever. I think it's the biggest protest that we've ever had, period. So, and somebody might say, well, where were the 97 other people? Well, 97%, the other people, yeah, maybe they were working. Maybe they have children at home. Maybe they're elderly and can't get out. There's a lot of reasons why 97 people, and maybe some of them were scared. And part of it is that we have to make everyone participate and not be scared, but that's a thought for another day. So for today's question, rather than asking what will the next 6 months look like, or what will next year look like, the question really should be, to put responsibility on ourselves, is where should our focus be moving forward? To affect the change we want, what do we need to focus on? What do we need to be telling our leaders when we contact them? What do we need to be doing on the daily to get us toward that goal? It puts the responsibility on us, right? Just like asking where a lost object is. It puts the responsibility on us. It gives us insight into where we might look, rather than just depending on fate to just put it back in the drawer. You see what I'm saying? Let's flip the camera and we'll get started. Alrighty, for today's reading, I'll be using the Jäger-Bürger. It's a Tarot of Besançon, which means it replaces the female Pope and the Pope with Juno and Jupiter. I've done a blog article. If I think of it, I'll put it down below. And this one is published by Artisan Tarot. And if I'm not mistaken, I noticed that they were having sales over there. Now, I don't know if we missed the 40% or not, because I think they had a 40% sale. But I know they at least have a 10% sale. So it might be worth your while to go look over there and see what they've got going on. At any rate, they're not paying me to say this or anything like that. I just want to mention that. I like to help people out when I can. And if any of you have ever had any artisan tarot decks, they shuffle. Let me show you how they shuffle. They riffle shuffle so nicely. They're made to be riffle shuffled, and they are, of course, linen finished. All right, remember, the question when I went into my meditative place and asked was, what should our focus be moving forward? If we want change within the next 6 months to a year, what should our focus be? When we write the people who can affect change for us, what should we be telling them? Definitely demonstrations matter. We see that. They've heard us. But what else do we need to do? We shouldn't leave it just in the hands for them to decide what we want. Okay, my bad. Okay, King of Coin. Well, this is a leader with a lot of money. Do we want more of the same, or do we want to take a stand against it? What's he looking at? He's looking at his purse. He's looking at stability of his own money. And then we have the Queen, his lovely assistant who assists him. This could be people in the regime. So we know what they're about. They want stability in their pockets, right? They want stability in their coin. One of the things like with AI, artificial intelligence, they use a lot, AI farms use a lot of electricity. Do you think they're going to pay for that electricity, or do you think that we're going to pay for the cost of it? And when AI becomes mainstream, for example, do we think it will benefit us more than it will benefit them? Probably not. So in the ways that they're looking at preserving their money, any idea they have that they throw out to us about any new ideas they have with crypto or AI, bear in mind that it's for their own stability here, right? So our focus on things should also have that playing in the background of our minds. Ooh, so I have some upside down cards. I'm going to leave it. So we have something that's being preserved, or an agenda that's being held sacred. However, it's falling out. I'm going to take it. It's falling out. Front and center of the core 9. Moving forward. We need to move forward with our own agenda. His agenda, their agenda, the oligarch agenda. And we have coins here. 3 of the 5 cards are coins. We have to make their money work for us. And we have to make our money work for us. We have an escalation here. We have 9 swords. Let me shut up and just lay the cards. We have deception, trickery, con, in the Fool. In the magician or the Batelier. This deck's a little big for my spread. There we go. That might be a little bit better. We have the people. We the people. 9 batons. There's another 9. Okay, good. And the last in the spread, we have the 6 of Swords, another card of protection. This is what we, the people, need to protect, right? This is the collection of the people, of us. This is them. This is us, okay? They're protecting what they want to protect. It's slipping because they're losing their hold. But we have something to protect, and we're gaining some ground on it. And maybe we have to beat them at their own game, right? Maybe we have to use some cunning. Let's see what the Quint cards suggest. Now, this is an interesting thing I want to point out. While going through the deck to find the Quint cards, this was the only card that was reversed in the whole thing. So I thought that was very interesting. And as it turns out, it's in a line with air and earth, right? Air and earth don't get along. So I think sometimes, it's funny how things work out, but I think if in case I missed the air and earth not getting along, we literally have it spelled out that it's not getting along. And it's to the detriment of this one, right? So we have mostly pips. We have one card of the higher suit in the core 9. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is my signature spread. I've developed this spread. I didn't invent laying three rows of 3. Lots of readers do that, but I've enhanced it, and this is uniquely my own twist, whereby I do a numerical, thing, and I figure out what the Quint cards are that give it, because I'm into numbers, and I put weight into numbers. For those of you who are interested in how I do that, I've only done about 4,000 other videos on the topic, so I'm not going to get into it today, but this is a signature spread. And if you do like it and you do use it in a public forum, I just ask that you extend the courtesy of acknowledging that this is a spread that I've developed. Okie doke. So I've understood that this row is the oligarchy. This is the people with the money. This is the people who are trying to preserve their money, right? How it trickles down to us, or the con they give us, right? Here's a con. How it trickles down to us. They're losing ground because we've shown up in droves, right? We've shown up in droves. But it's not enough that we just showed up. We have to start thinking. And taking action to hold them accountable for how they spend their money. Because this is money. This is all about money. Front and center of the core 9 is about money. I think the Quint cards pretty much verify what I'm saying, that if we want them to hear us loud and clear, one of the things that we have to do is continue to erode their institution. Not as in demolishing the White House like the person in charge is doing at the moment. I don't mean literally destroy the White House or destroy an institution. I mean putting our money where our mouth is, right? To make them aware of what we want. What do we want? Well, we have 2 cards from the suit of health and well-being. Now, to them, it means money. To us, it means health. It means like health insurance, right? It means confronting the oligarchs, confronting this row and saying, you know what? You keep boasting that we're the richest country in the world, and you're boasting that we have a $250 million ballroom that you're destroying part of the White House to build, which never really got any kind of special approval to do. It's true that renovations have been done, extensive renovations have been done to the White House, but it was always with approval, okay? But a country isn't determined to be great because it's got a $250 million ballroom. It's considered to be great by how it takes care of its people, right? The people need health care. The people need well-being. The government is closed because they're blaming it on the Democrats. Oh, well, the Democrats. Well, the Democrats are holding out for our well-being. These clowns aren't. These clowns are holding out for their well-being. I mean, that's what's going down. All these cards of communication, they can represent military strength. They can represent force. I don't see the fortitude card in here that would further enhance the thought of like physical strength, right? And that, and the Fortitude card could also represent integrity or personal integrity, right? Personal strength. But this is what we're up against, right? But we can beat them at their own game. We can be manipulators too. We can thwart them if we use our minds. And the power of the pen, we don't have to just write our notes. We can call, make phone calls, but let our people know. Let the people who are responsible for representing us know what our issues are. We want healthcare for all people. We have to do like grassroots. This protest was a grassroots effort, but it shouldn't stop there. We shouldn't just say, well, I went to 2 parades, I did my part. No, we have to vote. We have to express how we feel. We have to write. We have to call. We have to communicate. We have to call them out. I'm getting all worked up. And we have to beat them at their own game to crumble the institution that's corrupt. About 4 years ago, let me flip the camera. Hold on. When we lived in our other house before we moved here, my husband wanted to run for Congress. He'd be a great congressman because he saw all this already. He was already saying, the way both parties are BS. We need change. We need real change. And I discouraged him. And you know why? Because I'm a freaking tarot reader. And I was afraid that we would be destroyed, that his candidacy would be destroyed because his wife is a tarot reader. It doesn't matter that for the prior 20 years of my life, I was an educator and an exceptional educator, I might add. It doesn't matter that I had been a commercial artist. It doesn't matter. Well, actually, I was employed as a commercial artist, but my heart was always in the fine arts, but that's another day. But it doesn't matter that I had to reinvent myself a number of times. Oh, and I married people. I've married at least 400 couples of all types because I've had to reinvent myself any number of times. I've had to. So I'm a resourceful person, But I really was fearful of what they would do to him and me. They would destroy me, and but I regret it. Because he'd have been a great congressman. He really would have been. It's probably a regret that I'll take to my grave, that I discouraged him. But you might be able to run for something, and you might have the right ideas. Don't think that you just by, voting and showing up at a couple protests, if you have it in you to be a Congress representative, do it. If you have it in you to write a few letters, do it. Especially if you're writing to the opposite team. All these swords here and all these coins and one baton that's going for it, right? We have the 9 of batons. That's the people. That's the people. That's us. Anyway, I'm all charged up. Until next time, friends, peace, stay well, be brave, and be kind.